Hello everyone, welcome to another series of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series show. We're already on the prowl to find the best equine talent of 2025, and I'm already sorting out my wardrobe for the California sunshine. I can tell you, it won't be this clobber, although to be quite frank, at Ascot it's probably hotter than it would be on the west coast. So let's get ready for another road to 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙. I'm Matt Chapman, and remarkably, Breeders' Cup have invited me back after the end of episode 6. I'm sure they're not going to show that again, but I'm off. Remember, when you're watching all these shows, you have to remember why they chose me to do it. And there weren't many others who would have done what I just did. Right, so what have we got coming up for you? Right, we're going to go to 6 different race courses. Or are we? Because it's not just race courses we're going to visit on the Breeders' Cup show. It's going to be venues as well. We've got 1 or 2 really cool treats. We're going to have loads of fun. But what is the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series? Well, starting back in December until the middle of October, the Challenge Series has expanded to 93 races. That's from 82 across 15 countries. Those countries include the United States, of course, Dubai, Saudi, Brazil, Ireland, France, Japan and Korea. Each of those 93 races offer the winner a berth in a Breeders' Cup race in 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙 come November, depending on distance, gender or surface. Each of these champions will earn themselves a sizzling $40,000 to fund their travel and the team's expenses if traveling internationally. So we're all set, but things have changed because last year's show was so successful, the Breeders' Cup upped our budget. To be quite frank, they couldn't lower it, but they have upped it, and we now have another member on the team. Look, follow me, because this is really exciting. Thank you, sir. Excellent work as always. Right, you'll see I've got some treats in here because, okay, you'll think this is very unlikely. How could we pry away one of NBC's biggest stars, racing royalty, to do this? Well, I suppose the first step was the fact that I'm on the show. That will attract the big names. The second step is, of course, as I've said, we've got a big budget now, and some people will do anything for money. Your Majesty. Now, Nick Luck said I had to. Britney Eurton. Your Majesty, it's great to have you on board.
I don't know how the Queen would feel about that, but I'll take it. Should I be scared right now?
Well, hold on. Because this has sort of come together because of our terrific relationship, particularly at the draw last year when I came hurtling towards you. And genuinely, it looked like Jaws had just entered the draw. Well, the Breeders' Cup draw has just been held by Nick Luck and Britney Eurton, and we want a quick word with you, Britney. How do you feel about putting the worldy city of Troy in stall 3?
When Matt Chapman is coming towards you with a microphone, I think you should be a little bit scared. But this will be fun, I have no doubt.
Yeah, if you thought I was scary, you wait. In here, one of the best cameras in the world. Are you good with cameras?
Do we have a cameraman?
I know.
Or a woman?
Selfie stick, you'll be fine with that.
Okay,
You
that'll
take
be fine.
selfies all day, every day. And all the equipment, so it's all here. Because while the Breeders' Cup upped our budget,
Sure.
that unfortunately only covered your fee, which is quite high. So we actually haven't got a camera crew for you.
So I have to learn how to do all of this.
You are,
Well, you
Your
get this
Majesty.
entire team.
Your Majesty, you are Britney Eurton, your camera crew, you are film star.
I'm going to wear many hats, and this could go very badly or splendidly.
What are you going to do for us? What's happening?
Oh, I can't wait. All around the States, we will keep you up to date with all of the win and you're in races because, as you know, there are plenty. So I'll be at Monmouth Park for the Haskell.
Yep.
I know that's a big one. Saratoga with the Travers, Midsummer Derby, of course. Then we culminate all with 2 days worth of racing at Keeneland, Fall Stars weekend. It really ends there, and then you find out what these fields are going to look like. Who's in, who's not. I think I have something for you. Are you ready for it? We got a little challenge for you.
No,
Yeah, we
not
gotta kick this off the right way. So it is a gift. Challenge Chappers. Shall you open it?
These Breeders' Cup winning horses' names need to be slipped seamlessly Does anyone watch me present? Into your live broadcast across Royal Ascot, but they need to be outside the context of racing. So basically, I've got to get names of horses into conversations, I think, Brit. Easy names, Expert Eye, Enable, Blame, Cigar, Authentic, Awesome again. Harder names, Inspiral, Black Tie Affair, More Than Looks, Conduit, Better Talk Now, no one said that to me. And hard names, Ouija Board, Your Mucho Macho Man, I think that's not too hard. Chief Bearheart, Bricks and Mortar looks easy. If you can manage all 18, we will write off the challenge in episode 2. Okay, well, we know I'm doing a challenge in episode 2, but we'll see what we can do those. Thanks, Brittany.
I think you can do it.
Yeah.
I have all faith in you.
Yeah.
It is episode 1.
I kind of thought this would be a pleasure, but
Not so much.
while I digest these names, it's time for you to put your expert eye, that's one crossed off already. I've done it. Your expert eye on what's happened at Royal Ascot 2025.
It's Rosalian and Docklands with the white sleeves who's getting the better as they race towards the line and beyond the nod between Docklands and Rosalian.
I'd imagine he'll get on the plane a lot. He loves it. You want to win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup, so that'll be on the agenda, I'm sure.
American Affair coming out very strongly now with Paul Mulrennan. American Affair and Frost and Dawn. It'll be between this pair. American Affair being Frost and Dawn.
And I hear this might come in handy to you.
Oh, all right. Oh, wow. We're going to America.
Ombudsman now moving to Anmart, and it's Ombudsman who strikes on and begins to clear away. Ombudsman.
Royal Ascot. It's this place is very tough. It's hard to get winners. We always look forward to the Breeders' Cup and going to Delmine in November.
And racing up towards the line is another whiz-bang 2-year-old for Aidan O'Brien. It's Charles Darwin, and he's in the Breeders' Cup after this Norfolk Stakes win.
The challenge certainly started strongly for me. I got in an on-air debate on the morning show. But this wouldn't stop me dropping those names with absolute ease. Beautiful looking horse, but it's more than looks this game, Ollie.
As you know better than anyone.
It's always a pleasure to have you with us, Kevin. Remember, all you're here to do is give us the first 3 in the right order in every race. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. A little bit of authenticity. You are our authentic presenter here. I wasn't done there with the morning show. How about a couple more? Yeah, there's every chance she could be awesome again, but it's worth just remembering there was a group of 6. He's a fascinating runner, but as Rishi said, look, we had a royal heroine here a few years ago. Now we need a royal hero, but it's not going to happen. I'm very sorry for the royal family. Manxman, Simon and Ed Crisford, runner-up in the Cesarewitch, stays all day.
As I'm clearly going to need some time to figure out my own camera equipment, I stole Matt's camera crew. He's busy presenting, probably failing at the challenge. So I want to catch you up on everything that's happened thus far stateside, because the win and you're in action already began. First off, in the Grade 1 Ogden Phipps, that's a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. It was an upset by Dorth Vader. She had absolutely no issue with the slop underneath John Velasquez. Look forward to a bright future from her later on in the year.
Dorth Vader to win the Ogden Phipps presented by Ford.
Next up, Raging Torrent absolutely dominated a field containing 2023 Breeders' Cup Classic winner White Barrio and 2023 Juvenile Champion Fierceness stamped his ticket into the dirt mile in style, gate-to-wire fashion.
Raging Torrent's coming out party is in the Hillendale Metropolitan Handicap.
The Grizzly Bear, or Torpedo Anna, Horse of the Year, was back in action in the Fleur-de-Lis. A win and you're in for the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff. The question will just be, where does she end up in the Breeders' Cup? Against the ladies or against the boys?
Torpedo Anna, she's not done, not even close.
In the Stephen Foster, a star-studded race providing a spot in the Breeders' Cup Classic, truly lived up to the billing. Mindframe has his mind on business, beating Sierra Leone, last year's Classic winner, to make it back-to-back Grade 1 victories.
But it's Mindframe's Foster! Mindframe does it a length in the end.
Finally, 𝙍𝙤𝙙 is back with a bang in the Chappers, scooping up another spot in the turf sprint where she will potentially face off with Starless once again this year in Del Mar in November.
𝙍𝙤𝙙 dominates the Jaipur.
Speaking of, this feels like a pretty good time to get back to my colleague Matt Chapman so we can hear more about that roller coaster Breeders' Cup turf sprint with Rafe Beckett.
Lovely to hear from Britney about 𝙍𝙤𝙙, who of course may face Starlust once again at Del Mar at the end of the year. Rafe Beckett's with me, the trainer of Starlust, and we want to kind of go down memory lane with you, Rafe, with Starlust, because there was so much drama in that Breeders' Cup sprint.
They're off in the turf sprint.
For a start, you had a crazy front runner.
The leader by a half a length, and now spurting away. There goes Cockburn to open up by 2.
And it eventually turned out to be your first Breeders' Cup winner.
Starlust from the clouds.
It's not my first Breeders' Cup win. I had one in 2008.
I had a script and it said Breeders' Cup, first winner for Rafe. And of course, it was your second Breeders' Cup winner that then might get taken away by the stewards. Can you tell us what was going on in your mind during the whole thing?
Funny enough, the closer we got to the race, the more I fancied it. When he was 35 to 1 on the boards, I went to the window, and I don't often go to the window, Matt. The horse was training so well all week, he was really thriving for it. And by that time, we worked out, obvious as it was, that he was really effective around a bend.
They're off in the turf sprint. 𝙍𝙤𝙙 goes out to the early lead with Cockburn now moving through between horses. 𝙍𝙤𝙙 is there on the outside.
Breeders' Cup sent me a book afterwards. They took to side on photograph, but he was 9 lengths off the pace with 4 to run.
Then Big Ebs on the outside, followed by 𝙍𝙤𝙙.
Quite extraordinary to get into it from where he was and get a seam up the rail as he did. But Rossa was very good that day. And the horse, he had a partner to match, and it all came together, as sometimes it does.
Here comes 𝙍𝙤𝙙, here comes Starlust! Starlust comes from the clouds to win!
There is a steward's inquiry. They are going to take a look at that action. Yes, in fact, they're looking at the top 4 finishers.
When you have those stewards' inquiries, I remember when Toasted New York was in the stewards' inquiry for the Classic, I was right next to Jamie Osborne. He was pulling his hair out and almost in tears, etc. For you, in those moments when you could have a race like that taken away from you, what goes on emotionally for a trainer? Because we never really get to know what's inside you lot.
Well, luckily I'd been here before, Matt. Inside 3 weeks, we lost the Beverly D and the St Ledger.
And of course, stateside, the inquiries happen, and they happen a bit quicker, don't they?
I was the ball in the middle, you know, I couldn't move. I was beside him in his gap, and he took my ground.
Over there, it's a quick phone call, bang, right, done.
And that's the right way to do it.
Ruled that there will be no change to the order of finish.
I don't think anybody thought it was an unfair decision, did they, really?
Is Starlust a little bit of an unsung hero?
There's a real joy about him, because I never really rated the horse. All the time, he kept surprising us. And so he's been a joy to train and have around as much as anything else.
I'm presuming all races lead to Del Mar at the end of the year to defend your crown?
Well, there's an idea that he may go to Australia for their covering season, which starts on September the 1st. We'll see.
Oh, can you not start a month later? Like just 2 months later, actually. And you said second Breeders' Cup winner. The marathon was your other one, wasn't it? With the late great Pat Smullen, which obviously has special people. We should just let people into a know here. Okay, so we had to start this interview twice because I said first Breeders' Cup winner, Starlust. Kind of not sure whether the marathon counts as a Breeders' Cup winner, Rafe. I mean, I'm actually thinking with the benefit of hindsight, I was right and you were wrong. But are you claiming that?
I'm claiming. Well, it's difficult to claim it because it's no longer a Breeders' Cup marathon race. But that's not the horse's fault.
The more I think about it, and everyone loves Pat Smullen here, it's more about him than you, but I'm kind of thinking I was right. You forced me now to do a take 2, made me feel I was wrong, but I was right. Starlust, definitely Rafe Beckett's first Breeders' Cup winner. You can't count the marathon. Back to the challenge now. I wonder if people think I can only do it in a composed environment. How about a live, on-air jockey interview? Absolutely, you didn't really need an expert eye to find this one. 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙, one of the few in the field who looks certain to stay. Pretty impressive, don't we all think? Everything kicked off way back in mid-December in 2024, just weeks after we had wrapped up in Del Mar, with Intense for Me picking up the win, which seemed to really please the commentator.
50 metros para Nico, el código, el mejor caballo, pequeña ventaja.
Forever Young, oh, was back on the trail for another potential classic tilt with a win in the Saudi Cup.
Romantic warrior, Forever Young, a race for the ages, and Forever Young rounds up a terrific night for Japan.
It was a double dose of Japan in Dubai at the World Cup meeting, with Soul Rush and Danon Desil plotting their next moves ahead of the World Championships.
Soul Rush dives tight to land again, trying with a late ask, but Danon Desil, the Japanese race tonight, is on full force, wins the Shima Classic.
We had some Chilean noise from Gran Oriente as he took the Gran Premio Club Hípico Falabella rather comfortably.
En el tercero Mechula, medio cuerpo, Gran Oriente, cuerpo, un cuarto en Takana, Gran Oriente.
Finally, rounding the recap off, a double hit from Japan with the Takarazuka and Yasuda Kinnan.
But it's going to go to Yuga Kawara on Jantamanta, back to form today. Jantamanta wins it.
Meisho Tabaru's going to hold them off, running home Chuck Nake, and out wide Justin Palace, they hit the line.
So let's check out who has made the grade so far. In the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic, we have Forever Young, Costanova, Hit Show and Mindframe. In the Breeders' Cup Turf, Intense for Me, Danon Desil, Ombudsman, Meisho Taburu and Sincel. In the Fanduel Mile, we have One Stripe, Soul Rush, Gran Oriente, Yanta Manta and Dockland. And what about the Turf Sprint? Well, we talked about AG Bullet and a surprise package. Let's have an American affair. Wrapping up the challenge now. How would I improve on my live jockey interview earlier? How about dropping two names into an interview? It really is, Matt. I mean, we'd have needed a Ouija board to find her, but clearly, as a team, you thought she might have a squeak of, I guess, getting at least a place.
Yeah, definitely. After Guineas run, and we thought a better run race in the Guineas, she would have finished closer again. And I think she's taken a step forward from there, and she's just ultra tough. She doesn't know when to give up.
I'm sure there'll be a massive reception for you, Gary. It inspires all of us. What a show. What a backdrop we've had here at Ascot for the Royal fixture. I imagine you're thinking, how can they top that next month? We will, because we're going to visit the joint winning most trainer in Breeders' Cup history. You just go away and have a think who that might be, but it's going to be special, special, special. Right, on the next show, we'll also bring you some action from Uruguay. We'll be back here at Ascot for the King George. We've got racing from the US and Goodwood as well. So this was episode 1 on our terrific road to Del Mar.